Um, so I'll give the recap. Um, you guys are sort of meandering down towards Valaki, but you have intentions of checking out this windmill as well, as it's shown up in your palm reading, card reading, if you will, but also harkens back to the deed you guys hold. You guys attempted the, we'll say, strong diplomacy route upon entering, along with friends in the rafters, if you will. Could have been worse, could have been better. You've not explored anything higher than the second floor here. Um, in the last, we'll say it's still immediate because I know there's a sword going and then there's some other buffs going as well. There's a moonbeam and there's a spiritual weapon going. They have, it looks like a minute left, I wrote. So you guys are now sitting sort of quietly, if you will. The adrenaline of battle is starting to feel it, and kind of looking around to an empty room, sort of unsure, but it's pretty clear what happened in some way, shape, or form. So you guys can take it from here. Arena's kind of looking around confused. You guys did save. You guys did
So,
stabilize the child,
yeah, and there's
if I
another kid
remember.
upstairs, I think.
There is one that was thrown upstairs. So I think that was the major points. Anything else I missed you guys can think of? I haven't really searched anything anywhere. All right, take it from here. Arena is kind of just holding the kid. I think you were as well, Toto. Just kind of trying to do your best to calm him down. We'll say at this point um, he's knocked out, but he's alive. Um, Go ahead.
So I want to go upstairs and find that other kid and see what
Okay.
how they're doing.
So you can take the stairs. Anyone else? What is everyone else doing? Why is it so fucking hot in here? 1 second. Check my AC. Not even hot. Why is it? It's getting warmer slightly, and my computer just heats up a room so much now. Anybody else doing anything specific?
Yeah. I want to. Oh, well, failed that, but I'm gonna do a perception check to try to figure out what was going on here in this room.
You have no fucking idea. Toto.
Hey, critically fail skill check.
It's true. It looks old and run down. It looks somewhat functional. The device in the middle of the room, you're not really sure exactly what it is. It doesn't look great. And the woman, when you guys first came up here, it looked as though it was manually being moved. So you'd assume that the connection to the windmill, as suggested earlier, is probably no longer functional at this point.
Since I can't find shit, I'm gonna ask Demrak to see if he can find any valuables, anything worth taking. That's his thing.
Yeah, it's quite the
Yeah,
assumption.
I'll look around.
It seems to be pretty clear that they are grinding up bones in this mill here, Fimrak. You can feel as upset about that as you'd like. Kind of your worst suspicions upon initially seeing these children taken from Barovia. Their ultimate fate of probably ending up in this mill. I can't find the fucking page. Give me a second. Is disturbing, to say the least. Okay. So, Toto, you're going to head up to here. Get you inside. I mean to open that.
Sorry, I'm. Yep.
I'm trying to read this without. I'm trying to update because. So there's a thick wooden gear shaft in the center of this cramped room, circular room. There's a lot of just scraps of clothing and just things heaped around. It looks like a pseudo bedroom, if you will. One that you don't want to spend much more time at all in. There's a rotted wooden closet across from you here behind the ladder that goes to the floor above, presumably. And next to the closet is a heap of discarded clothing. A ladder climbs up. A moldy bed with tattered canopies stands nearby as well. The crates in this room hold 2 children currently. They both look in very poor health and have not made a noise since you've kind of approached or walking up the stairs at this point.
So I'll shout down that there's 2 more kids up here. And I'm going to try to walk kind of non-threateningly towards the crates and figure out if I can open the crates up or try to open them.
Yeah, from the outside, it's almost comical in the worst of ways. The kids seem to be so malnourished and neglected. As you get closer, you can see prick points on them as if they've been poked. You presume that some of the needles that are kind of laying around the area that it can be used for making clothing or maybe tying up hair, presumably were used for that purpose. They don't, even at this point, look scared necessarily. They're just sort of almost in a trance. If anything, there's a slight sort of just understanding that they're already in a better situation just because you don't look like the creatures that were up here very recently. So the mechanism to lock it is a very simple one that is just on the front of the cage, if you will, and it just is a very simple little latch. But you notice that the wood in its creation, you couldn't really fit fingers forward enough to get up there and fiddle with it from the inside. So very simple, very basic. And then Arena, upon hearing additional children, she's going to run up with you as well, just kind of holding the child that was saved down below, and going to come up and help and just be aghast at the situation that she sees here. Royce, what's your role for?
I just want to be looking around for anything valuable or any trap doors, any.
Oh, on the first floor?
Yeah.
Let me see. So there was a mention of. So we're at this point, the rolls or the pies in the oven are starting to smell burnt. They're in this oven here, and there's not like black smoke necessarily, but there's definitely the smell of burnt pastry, if you will, coming from that area. There's still a bucket or a barrel of just a really nasty black ichor looking sludge, if you will, in one of them that's open. The rest of them look like more generic, baking supplies or food, rice, things like that. There's also a large chest here, which is of note, for sure that you see. It's let me read here just be certain. Yeah, so there's old dishes piled everywhere. There's a chicken coop in here, a small one. There's a heavy wooden trunk that kind of stands out as being relatively well made. It doesn't really give any indication of what's inside. Upon further inspection of it, it doesn't seem to be. It's definitely locked to keep it closed, but doesn't have any sort of security on it past that. So things of note are the barrel with the liquid that you can't really say you've ever seen anything like that before. The pastries are starting to burn, and then there's this large sort of heavy wooden chest in the center of the room as well.
The contraption that's in the middle of the room where Vemrek is,
Mhm.
I want to take a better look at it. Is it what I assume it is in terms of using it to grind the bones of?
Yes, to grind up baby bones. Yes, or children's bones.
I would like to make an attempt to, like, destroy it if I can, like, or damage it to the point of non-return.
Yeah, so you can. I mean, with the weapons that you have and being as efficient as you are with them, you can find a couple weak points, like where some of these gearing sort of meet, where you think over the course of even like 30 seconds to a minute, like you could get some good axe hits in that would make it inoperable for the time being, and then with a couple more, like probably have to remake those gears. Like the wood's not incredibly well made. Most of the wood in here is rotted or rotting at this point. So, yeah, over the course of, I'd say, a minute or so, you'd be pretty confident it won't be in service anytime soon. And if you really want to go at it, you can spend, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes, like really just hacking this mechanism down.
I'm gonna I'm gonna just destroy it as best I can, while also trying to like keep vigilance, knowing that there's a chance the hags are still around here.
Okay.
The process of that. Do I understand that this is being used to make pies out of children, essentially?
We'll say that once like Vemrak's emotions kind of hit, you're not necessarily like showing them in some intense way, but you do pick up on like his demeanor changes and the fact that he starts to come over and like disassemble this thing and looking on the ground. Like it's pretty clear that it's has devious intentions, and then you can kind of see like, oh, while they seem to do a decent job of keeping this powdery substance they're creating, in this like center cauldron, if you will, that tends to fall over at times, and you see there's like little pouches here for carrying it downstairs and things like that. So it's, yeah, the setting here is we can say it's fully set in for you.
So I'll try to, I'll verbally say it. Vermic, shouldn't you stop? Won't the other humans starve?
This isn't what we're meant to eat.
Wait, humans aren't cannibals that eat children? I mean, wasn't Toto eating that pie earlier?
I don't think we knew what was in it at the time.
You humans
I'm
are so
AFK
strange.
for 1 second, but I'm listening.
Well, I'll go downstairs.
So at this point, I'd like to like either open or break open the crates and get the kids out. I'm assuming, if Arena ran up, I'll say, Arena, can you watch them while I finish figuring out what else is up here?
I said AFK 1 minute and I'm listening, and then I tapped my mic and then it died. It's a total troll, so I've heard nothing since I said I'm listening.
I'm trying to give the kids to Arena so that I can search the rest of this floor and maybe the one above.
Okay, yeah, you have no issue doing that. Arena is happy to take them. Maybe not happy, but she's glad to take them from you. They're still very like almost catatonic. They do sort of flinch at the cage and the sound being open, but they are not putting up much of a fight, especially when they kind of like focus on Arena. Their demeanor changes a bit, and there's almost a sense of some comfort kind of coming over them. You can see, but they're still very weak, to say the least.
Yeah, so I'll say, Arena, do you want to take them downstairs? I'm assuming we're not going to hang out in this windmill. I'll keep searching if you can take them downstairs.
Yeah, she just kind of nods and is starting to kind of like just talk to them as best she can, like just say soothing words, and she heads back down. She takes a notice of the large pile of clothing on the floor next to the crates and realizes like, wow, I have 3, and there's numerous sets of clothing there. Kind of looks at them, looks at you, and then just kind of heads down the stairs. The roll for Toto, what's that for?
Perception to search the room for anything interesting beyond that.
You take note. It doesn't look like this. I mean, it's set up as a bedroom at some point, but doesn't seem to be functional. Really, now the more time you spent in here, just a minute or so at this point, it seems like it's mostly just a storage place for children. The bed, considering the size and grotesqueness of the creatures that live here, seems to be almost underused. With further inspection, you can see that just kind of like really lazily hidden, if you will, under a part of the mattress in the back left of the mattress, kind of near the window. There's a pouch that seems to be full of either jewelry or coin or something that you find like loosely hidden.
So I'll grab it, but I'm not really gonna look at it too much right now. I'm just gonna put egg pouch in our inventory.
Okay.
One second, I'm just writing a note so that I don't have to remember stuff. There we go. Found in the windmill bedroom. Okay, is there anything else of note in this room that I notice, or is that it?
No, just the trapdoor at the top of the ceiling.
So I think I'm gonna
from
head
the ladder.
that way.
Okay. It opens as if it hasn't been opened in a very long time. There's a lot of dust that comes down, even for a place like this. You almost feel at this height now like the building is sort of swaying a bit. It's unnerving. You kind of get the feeling for the first time you're like, I don't really want to be in here anymore, just because it seems so unsteady. But the ladder does hold your weight. You, assuming you don't take, you leave your basics behind, but and then you open up that hatch, and like I said, dust inside. It's not lit by anything candle wise, but there's plenty of holes and patches and kind of scars, you could say, in the top sort of dome, to look around a very small room. And I will bring you over here. You've reached the windmill's peak, a doomed chamber filled with old machinery. There's not much to the room to move around. Light slips in this attic through small holes in the walls and cracks above you.
I mean, I'll give the room a search, just in case. And I'll just keep rolling 2s. Get them out of the way now.
This room is incredibly tiny. You note that the kind of wood gearing in here seems to probably be original from what was down below. It hasn't been used, you'd guess, in a very long time. You were sort of excited in a way to maybe possess the ownership of a nice family windmill, but now having seen every floor, you're less inclined to hang out further. But there are some bird cages up here. You're not exactly sure why. You kind of move them around just with a foot, not expecting to find much. And it does reveal an old tome.
I will inspect it.
Okay. Let me see if this wants to work. Are you going to read it?
Sure.
Open it up. Okay. Why won't this open? Where are handouts at typically? Is that in the journal entries? Oh, there it is. Got it. Show to players. So there should be a text handout.
Okay.
Everyone can access, and I will also post this in the Discord as well. And I'll pin this. Message is too long. Upload as a file. Does that work? Or should I split it up? To pin something else earlier too, I thought. Okay, I did get that. You guys all have access to that? The handout section? Cool.
I just see the basic rules.
Should be a journal and the text handouts.
It auto popped up for me.
I'll show again, see if that pops up.
I can
will.
see the thing on my screen. I can't see it in the journal tab. Sorry.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna put it in the D&D chat.
I'm just adding it as my own. I just copied it.
Why?
Because I'm a nerd, and that's a lot of text to read. I think my character is probably going to look that there's a lot of words there and close it to read later, and share with the group.
Okay.
But if that's the only thing up here, I'm going to head back down. Yeah, I'm going to head back down to at least the second floor, or maybe the first, depending on where everybody else is.
Okay. Are you doing anything down there while this is happening, Royce?
Yeah, I want to look in that chest. I want to try to unlock it.
Okay. The locking mechanism there is very simple. Let me see here. Oh, you rolled high too, didn't you? There's also
Nat 20, baby.
there's also 3. So amongst various sort of concoctions and things that are sort of sitting on the shelves, kind of covered in dust, haven't been touched in a while. See, there's a larger shelf above this table here. You find a couple elixir-looking potion-type things. There's one labeled Youth. It's a golden syrup. There's one labeled Laughter. It's a red hint or red tint to it. And there's a third one. It's a greenish milky liquid labeled Mother's Milk.
Sorry, what was the color of it?
The third one is a milky green. There's actually a chicken coop in here.
So I got a yellow youth one, a red laughter, and a milky green. Other one?
Yes. There's actually a chicken coop in here that contains 2 chickens. And there are a few eggs in there if you wanted those.
Fuck yeah, I want to take the eggs.
And if you lift up the trunk, roll me a dexterity check.
Wait, do I get advantage on those with the?
You're fine. It's more of a comedic thing, if anything. You open it with like you're just searching this kitchen. You're pretty confident there's no traps or anything. You open this chest. It is filled with hundreds of toads. So like they immediately are just kind of like all looking up at you, and like we'll say 7 of them jump out before you can close the top. I assume quickly enough before more jump. So that's up to you. Do you want to close it right away or just keep it open?
Yeah, this is the chest.
Yes.
Inside the chest.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll close it.
Okay, so we'll say like 7 of them jump out. You kind of see them, and now they're just kind of like jumping around the floor here. But it's just absolutely filled with the toads of similar color and possibly breed as well.
Okay. And there's nothing else around, like it's just not like this isn't a chest or anything, right?
No, that's the coop, I'm guessing. And then this is the table, and then this is the chest, and then this is the barrel, and then you're kind of standing on the broken down cart. So
Okay. I'll just head upstairs and just let the others know what I found.
okay. As you head upstairs, you kind of see Arena now trying to calm and soothe these 3 children. Now, one much smaller. I forgot about the kid that was thrown up. So there's 4 total. I'm so bad at this game sometimes. We'll say there's 1 in a cage, 1 that was thrown, and then 1 that you guys saved. There's 3 children total. She's now trying to just sort of like, 1 is able to walk, albeit barely, and as she's kind of like placed on the floor, and she's sort of like sitting there with them near the stairs here, just trying to just soothe them and calm them as much as possible. You can tell it's really affecting her. There's like tears in her eyes. She's like fighting back as she is just, the whole situation here is just hitting her hard. So Vimrak is meticulously sort of hitting as calm or as sort of quietly or as efficiently as he can, I would say, disassembling this grotesque machinery here in the middle. And Observer, what are you up to?
I was heading downstairs after
That's
I talked
right.
to Vemrak.
So you can kind of just head downstairs and see Royce open up the chest and some toads jump out. So if you want to interact with those, you can.
Do I notice the oven with the burning
you can't
pastries?
smell, right?
I can. I have the sense. I just
Okay.
don't
Yeah. So
need
yeah,
to.
you notice it as well. You can sense that it's getting worse.
I'll go ahead and take it out.
Okay.
And
You pull. So there's like some like
gloves
vice,
or something.
like
Yeah.
a metal sort of wow, I cannot think today. There's a thing you can use to get them out, and you notice that they're getting rather blackened at this point. There's a sheet of probably like 12 of them on this like large metal sheet, and you can do with them what you will.
I'll go ahead and put them. I'll take them up to the rest of the group.
Okay. Toto, you're back down, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Moonbeam's done. Search weapons done. All right. So I guess you just see Observer walking up with a tray of burnt pies as Vimrak is taking wax at the central mechanism.
I'll turn to Toto and ask him, did you want one of these?
I'm not even going to respond.
I do not.
I'll turn to Arena, ask her, these things, do you eat them?
Actually, what is he carrying it like on a tray?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on a hot tray. You can kind of feel the heat if you're next to him, and he's holding him. I guess he probably wouldn't need to hold him with anything, but yeah, he's holding them in his hand or with a pair of like pliers or something to grab them.
Yeah, I'm going to take the tray out of his hand with ease because I'm a lot stronger. Put it on the ground. I mean, I am, and then put it on the ground and just start like beating it with my axe.
Okay.
And just like desecrate it. to smithereens.
I'll just say, oh, that seems like a waste.
Arena looks up just with a look of concern in the timing, and is just kind of glances at the others in the room that are not of a robot descent, and just kind of goes back to focusing on these kids as best she can. If no one does anything for the next minute or so, you guys have a plan?
So I'll look over and be like, you searched the kitchen. Was there anything interesting there besides your horrible pies?
I didn't see much else. Royce was down there, looking through something.
Yeah, there was a weird chest that was full of toads. And then there was 3 elixirs that I found. And I'll just...
Would I know if there's any type of like spell that could turn someone into a toad?
You imagine it could exist, but it's not like front of mind. You'd assume that in the current situation, they're probably just used as an ingredient for whatever reason.
So it's likely they weren't locked in there for long.
They could have been. I mean, they're of varying sizes, but they're being kept alive rather efficiently in such a small space. So there's definitely some witchcraft type stuff going on to keep them around. But you don't think that they were humans or children at one point or anything.
We own this place now, right? So what do I want to do with it?
Arena kind of just like mentions, like sort of under her breath, but loud enough for everyone to hear. Like, I could think of a couple things to do with it. Are we ready to leave soon? Because we now have a little extra baggage in the party. I would rather not have them experience more of this god awful place than they have to.
I was gonna say we should get to Wallachia, and I'd just as soon burn this place when we leave. This is an evil place.
I am a-okay with that. Do we care about what happened to the disappearing ones? They may not be happy about that, but I don't see a reason not to destroy it.
If it inconveniences them, that's all the better for us. Force them to find a new place to do their dirty work.
Fair enough. I guess now that we know what they look like, we could alert Valaki of their presence, although I fear that unfortunately my father may have known something was up in this situation and just, turned a blind eye to it as there were more pressing or worse things happening. I always knew of the pastry sort of problem, but I assure you I did not know of the full extent of it. And from the rumors I've heard too, they don't actually take the children. They're given the children, but they get hooked on the high first before they get to that point, which just makes it all the more worse.
And get the kids to Wallachia at least. Wallachia or Wallachia? Sorry, I keep saying Wallachia, but I don't think it's Wallachia.
I think it's I say it wrong too. I call it Valaki.
Whatever. That city, the place we're going to next.
Yeah, we've got a good amount of daylight still. We should be able to make it there before sundown, as long as we don't run into anything on the road.
So is anybody opposed to me burning this place down as we leave? Okay, I'm gonna go see if there's supplies downstairs. And I'm gonna go
Okay.
look for like alcohol and flour and other wonderfully flammable things.
Yeah, you find everything you'd need in small supply. You do note the large barrel, though, now that you're looking around, of this black, gooey substance as well, liquid substance.
Can I investigate it without touching it to try and figure out
Yeah.
if I can learn anything about it?
Roll knowledge arcana if you have it.
I mean, I can roll it. Let's see what happens.
Oh my
Oh!
god. Let's see.
Got the twos out of the way
Right.
to get a. That's stupid.
You do a quick detect magic and think back on books you've studied in the occult or the evil, trying to be more prepared in later life for possibly coming across things. And you remember specifically reading about these sort of barrels of holding, or these sort of barrels of evil. They have many different names. Demon barrels, they were called. You feel as though that this can be a font for a scrying spell. But you also seem to remember that you can typically, or in some cases, you can summon things out of them by knocking 3 times.
Hey guys, there's a weird barrel that we might be able to summon something from.
Downstairs.
Yeah, I should be down on the ground floor, I think.
Yes. Everyone going down?
Yes. For me.
Yeah.
All right. Vimrak, you're confident that the mechanism that you were hacking away at is far from usable. Plus, it seems like this place might be going up in flames. So you're pretty confident.
Okay.
Why is there a dot right here? Like a circle.
That's the Raven.
So
is it
you said there's something
visible?
down here?
Yeah, I'll point
Oh,
to
I see it now.
the barrel and say, I think, if I remember correctly, this can be used to summon something. Not sure we want to do that, but I figured I'd let you guys know.
I'm gonna go over the barrel and can I see how heavy it is?
Can you see how heavy it is?
Like by like interacting with it?
Sure. Yeah, it seems like it's full of liquid. It's rather heavy overall.
Like how many pounds?
I think I've done this math before. How much?
How many gallons is it?
It's probably at least probably 30.
So it's probably about
Pounds.
300 pounds then, if it's the same rough mass as water.
Yeah.
So Vimrak will pick it up with like one hand.
Right.
What can you summon, Toto?
Something
What can we-
evil. Beyond that, I really don't know.
Right. And while you guys are all discussing this, there are toads kind of flopping around on the floor at
I'm
your
gonna
feet.
pick up one of the toads.
Okay.
It's gonna stuff it in my bag.
All right. Seems oddly content with this action. It's only known a life of a tiny box, so.
Let's see.
How can I add stuff to the inventory? I'm in my inventory and I'm clicking add under consumables and it just popped up
So
with an
it's-
error.
Oh. That's weird. You should
So
be able to
Vimrak,
add an item and then click the little edit right icon on it.
Yeah, it's not adding anything new.
So do we think that? Do you know the procedure for this, Toto? How we can use this to summon something?
We could. I think we knock on it 3 times, but I have no idea what's going to come out.
What happens if it's the hags that come back?
I think that would be bad for us.
Can we destroy it?
So if you're saying I cast detect magic on it, do I know if there's a way to destroy the barrel?
Yeah, you assume like in the fire it would probably just be engulfed. It definitely has magical qualities to it. It was being used as such, so it seems to almost be here, like part for a scrying spell, but also part as as a defense. It's not necessarily like a one and done. Like you could almost summon like a multitude of creatures out of these things, from what you remember.
I convey this information instead of repeating it.
Could you control the creatures?
Typically, it's not who summons them; it's who created the like spell or the barrel in the first place. So he would not assume that they could be controlled.
I would say let's destroy it.
Could just burn it in the fire.
But what if it's the hags?
Then they'd be destroyed.
You're pretty confident it's not the hags. It's confident more so that the hags created this kind of as a tool or a defense,
like a last-ditch support thing.
Yeah, like if they were encountered here, they could potentially summon like a small group or a small gathering of creatures from this barrel.
Let's destroy it.
I concur. I don't really want to summon evil things right now.
All right, so all of you are just gonna go outside, except for those that are gonna. How are you guys gonna try and burn this place down?
So I want to look around
There's
the
already
kitchen.
fire going, right?
What's that?
There's already fire going in the oven, right?
Yeah, there's a small fire in the oven. It's mostly of like an old cobblestone construction. If you can see over here, this is sort of the original area I showed you guys. Obviously has wood inlaid throughout it, but you're not sure it would necessarily burn very well. Like you probably wouldn't burn to the ground.
Kind of metagaming here, so apologies, but do we want to burn this place down because have we found the treasure? Yep.
Oh, I have a book.
Do we think it's that tome?
Have you guys searched this room?
Every room has been searched now.
Like, I'm assuming flipping through it, I kind of open it up. It looks like this is a bunch of information about Strahd. I haven't read it all yet. I was kind of waiting for a better time to sit down and read it. But I think, knowledge of our enemy.
You're pretty confident that this is tied to the reading that you guys were given.
What, it was like the knowledge of our enemy or something was the...
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we're talking about knowledge of our enemy, I'm assuming Strahd is our enemy. And this might be it.
Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. I see a lonely mill on a precipice. The treasure lies within.
So unless... Yeah, I think this is it.
Okay.
So I was gonna try and look around for like, if this is a kitchen, there's probably, I would hope, like fat, alcohol, burnable stuff. And we also
you find that for sure.
And we also have a vial of I think somebody at some point put a jar of alchemist's fire in our...
I believe so.
I don't know if somebody bought that or if we looted that, so I'm not sure who got that.
I think it was purchased. I think it was purchased from Bildrath. Or I forget where it looted from. I don't remember, but I do believe you guys have one at least. But I don't check your inventory.
What do you want me to do about adding these things? It's not letting me add anything to the inventory. I guess I could try to add it to the party inventory.
It won't add to party loot.
I can do it to the party now.
Oh, okay. Yes, you can find some flammable liquids. Not enough to necessarily set this place ablaze, but definitely enough to start a fire down here with all this wooden stuff.
So if nobody cares, what I was gonna do is smear a bunch of the fat and shit around the central post, and then hit it with the alchemist's fire as we leave, and hope that'll take most of this place up, or at least make it sufficiently uninhabitable for those hags to come back.
Yeah, there is a wooden beam up through the middle. So if that were to go, and you're not sure exactly how much of the stability of this place is relying on that at this point, but it's definitely not as good as it once was. So.
And smoke damage is no joke. Does anybody care if I do that? I didn't buy the alchemist's fire, so I don't want to steal it from somebody.
My headset died again, so I just got back. You're debating alchemist fire usage?
Well, I'm asking. I didn't buy it, so I don't want to be.
Just go for it.
Yeah. Who bought it?
I used.
I don't remember.
Would it be possible to use? Wait.
I mean, you also don't know that it wouldn't just light up if Vemrak just took an axe to each floor on his way down or something, that it may not
just collapse.
Not collapse, but like alchemist fire kind of just spreads fire. So if you were to weaken it, Arena kind of is like, maybe if we just weaken the posts, or fill this place up with something, or just, I don't know, make it, we could always come double check, or send maybe some guards from Valaki out here in a couple days to see, just to keep them from setting up shop again. I mean, hopefully word of mouth would be a strong power against them as well. Although if you're addicted, you're addicted, so maybe not.
Well, I'm down. I just want to light this place on fire. I don't really care how we do it, so we can.
All right, I'll say for the sake of time and not role playing more fire starting. You can do it without the alchemist fire. You have no problem kind of spreading just this fat, the alcohol, the flour, whatever happens to be. Oh, nice. Whatever happens to be laying around this makeshift kitchen. The clothing goes up easily, the old bed, everything like that. Just the bird cages, all that stuff. You kind of meticulously start from the top, work your way down as quickly, as efficiently as possible, just kind of lighting these things with matches that you find down below. And if you want, you say Vemrak just takes a couple like strong, sturdy whacks at some of the support, the internal support pieces as you guys move down. As everyone exits the windmill, is kind of looking at it now from a safe fall distance away. Arena is still mostly concerned with kind of shading the children from this experience as well, and just trying to bring as much comfort to them as possible. You guys kind of are watching and kind of hoping for something dramatic, but you do hear, which is unexpected, is a screech of a very evil, just nasty sort of a scream, if you will. Has about 2 or 3 creatures of just a very disgusting sort of look come crawling out the front door, just engulfed in flames. And Royce kind of just immediately just like launches an arrow at the first one in the door frame, but really maybe even before the arrow hits them, the creatures start to just kind of fall, having burnt alive into this black, thick, kind of almost like syrup-like consistency that seems to stay even more on fire as they kind of like melt into the ground and just produce flame for a while. The structure over the next, we'll say like 5 to 10 minutes, starts to sag a bit. And then you kind of see the heat sort of start to, if you will, like burst or collapse the top dome. And that weight does actually partially collapse the first and second floors to a considerable extent. There's still a fire going inside. Depending on how long you guys want to sit here and watch it, kind of 50-50 on whether or not it's going to actually completely collapse on itself or not. But the first 2 floors seem to be thoroughly destroyed, having collapsed kind of on themselves. The spinning or windmill part itself has fallen off now and kind of crashed on the opposite side and kind of rolled down the embankment a bit towards the valley, towards Valaki. And yeah, you guys have made a nice little torch on top of the mountain.
Nice. Well, I'm satisfied with that. Oh, hey, I also have this pouch full of stuff, guys. I haven't opened it yet.
Did you want to do that now?
Sure.
There are 6 gems in there. Probably lower quality overall. You'd estimate, if you want to make a note, that they're probably worth about 20, maybe 20 gold a piece. It's jewelry, but it's not of the highest quality for sure.
Cool. Adding it to the note.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do here?
I've added those elixirs to the party loot too. I don't know if we have any way of identifying them or whatnot.
Let's see. Are those actual items
Identify
from
them.
like... Oh, I can't see this. Do we need to identify them, or...
Well, I mean, I was...
The first one is called Youth.
How do we know that it's called youth?
It's labeled.
Okay.
Actually,
That's handy.
Do we want to trust the label?
yeah, there's a scratched kind of marking across the top where you would put the plug in, the cork at the top, and it says Youth. It's a golden syrup. The second one is labeled Laughter. Take that for what you will. And the third one is labeled Mother's Milk. It's a very thin viscosity, but it looks like a very thick milky green. It's very interesting looking. And you guys are fucked up. You burned the chickens alive. So great. And all the frogs.
Hey, not all of them.
True. Maybe 2 or 3 got out.
I took one. So we've got, what, 3 kids with us now?
4.
A burned windmill, and we have to get to...
Well,
was it Valaki?
Yeah, Valaki.
Yep. So Arena is kind of like, hey, we should probably get moving. I can carry the young one. Can one of you guys help me with one of these other children?
I'll go ahead and shapeshift.
Okay. Into
The image I sent you.
Oh. Into a horse. Nice.
A warhorse.
Okay.
A large creature.
Warhorse.
All right. And you'll let someone ride you?
Yeah, I'll put the kids on.
Okay.
So we don't slow down.
Someone has to hold them, so we just have Arena
Yep.
up there with them.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Anyone want to do anything specific? I'm going to move to the game map. You guys can move to the game map as well. You're going to follow this blue line down the mountain, and then you're going to kind of hit the valley floor over here to the east.
How long is that trek?
It's my
I've got 2 hours of wild shape.
my thing is not working how it used to, which is just fucking annoying. So as the crow flies, it's what 3 miles. So we'll call it. What is that? 20 miles. It's how many hours do you have?
2.
It's more than that.
Well, we can go most of the way. At least go quick.
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything on the road? No.
So there was I have to look up in the Discord thing again, but there was a mention of the camp of their whatever that last place that we were at, not the windmill, but the one before that. It said that there was a camp of their brethren around that might be able to tell me some stuff. I just don't.
Yes.
So
They said the northern side of the lake, I believe. It's on the pinned
northern thing.
message. I can
Okay.
check it here. I just had it. You guys have your individual. So I see flames in your past, flames that a large lake's waters wash away. Near the water is a group of my people. They may know more of your past, but relief is not a promise made in this land. I meant to say north. I'm sorry. But I missed that. So in the north side of the lake. So if nothing else, you guys head down the mountain without any issue. You're traveling at a good speed. The children are, one is asleep, we'll say the other two are just kind of looking around in kind of awe. I mean, more comfortable than not, but definitely out of place. And Arena's doing her best to comfort them. And most of you, I would say, are happy that she's here to do so. It comes rather natural to her. She gets, or you guys get to the bottom of the mountain near the east side here. You've sensed the moisture in the air. You can kind of smell the water to the north. You're definitely in a different climate here now. It's a bit warmer, but as the day is getting longer, it kind of starts to cool as well. But it's definitely a different feel for sure. The forest is darker here than you're used to. Kind of just as low as you can at the bottom of this valley now. You get to the gates of Valaki without a hitch. Arena gets pretty sketched out, maybe about halfway there. She's concerned. She asks like you guys to kind of change positions and things multiple times, as she's just kind of waiting for something bad to happen. But kind of for once, it doesn't happen, it seems. Timing wise, you guys hit the windmill. I think by what time was that? You guys hit the windmill, I think by like 10, right? So we'll say it's afternoon that you're approaching Valaki. Let me see here. Need to go back now. All right. So the old Slavish road meanders into a valley watched over by dark, brooding mountains to the north and the south. The woods recede, revealing a sullen mountain surrounded by a sullen mountain town surrounded by a wooden palisade. Thick fog presses up against this wall as though looking for a way inside, hoping to catch the town aslumber. The dirt road ends at a set of sturdy iron gates at a pair of shadowy figures stands behind them. Planted in the ground and flanking the road outside the gates are a half dozen pikes with large wolf heads impaled on them. So you guys can still be a distance away from the town if you'd like, but effectively you approach this town you've heard of so much now, and you kind of see in the distance you're as far or as close as you want to be, but you see these impaled wolf heads on large pikes. They look very fresh overall, and then you see presumably some guards kind of behind a rather large, rather sturdy iron gate as well.
Seems like a nice place.
Arena looks up and just makes a quick comment.
We have- Go ahead. Sorry.
What's that? Oh, she makes a quick comment. If you, well, are you guys okay with just approaching and being within talking distance of the guards, or did you want to do something before that?
We have a Vallaki town pass. That might be useful here.
You do have one. Wonderful. You bought that from Bildrath, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. So Arena makes a comment. She's made comments about the Baron Vargas along the trip to Valaki when her mind wasn't distracted by the number of horrible things that have happened in the last day or two of her life. Mentioning that there are festivals that are taking place frequently, and that from what she remembers, the Baron is a bit heavy-handed, if you will, in his way of ruling over the town. But it is sort of deemed to be one of the last or only sort of strongholds against the devil himself. And while she's sure that his control is in there in some way, it is kind of known to be an intense place, but one that is relatively safe. So if you guys are all fine, you guys approach the guards. They kind of perk up as they see a very large group approach, and once they're in talking distance, they just kind of yell out, "I'll need to see all your passes today, unless some of you are first timers. I don't recognize any of you actually. So, do you guys have passes?"
We only have the one, right?
I think we've got one. I don't.
Okay, is that what you say?
I'll hold one up and say we have one pass.
One pass. Looks like we got a sucker here. I hope you didn't buy that from someone.
We did.
Interesting. Well, passes are free. Everyone needs one. You have to declare weapons upon entering the town. You must also state your business, and I will give you a pamphlet as well as to the rules of Valaki while you're here. If you have any issues with these things, you will not be allowed in. If you do not want a pass, you will not be allowed in. And please, please, please read over the rules as they are taken as law. If you guys are close enough, I assume at this point now, he has these sort of handwritten flyers or pressed flyers that he's handing out. Let me see.
Did you say that your weapons have to be declared?
Weapons must be declared. Yes, they do not have to be
Not
given up,
taken.
just declared. Please do not hide them. And honestly, just read over the rules. I repeat myself enough around here. God damn, this is gonna be too long again. Hold on, I have to cut this up a lot. I'll just do it by page. Copy. Paste. As he's sort of handing out these pamphlets, he's like, just out of curiosity, where are you guys coming from?
Windmill?
The windmill. Interesting.
Mill.
What did you oh, what the fuck? Oh, what did you do up there?
Oh, we burned it down. But don't worry, we owned it.
The guard kind of looks up towards the mountain. It's like, I wondered what that was. We don't take kindly to arson here. We may have a couple additional questions here, but please, everyone read the decree.
Citizens, all visitors and residents shall comply with these laws and actions. Sorry. Blah blah blah. Oh, that's nice.
I'll turn to the guard.
I'm
and
just
then
reading
tell 'em
over
what
this
I-
pamphlet. Sorry.
If somebody wants to read it for the group,
I mean,
Did you post it somewhere?
it's in Discord.
it's pretty massive, but it's It's good.
Oh, we can't say what's his name's name, guys. Don't do that.
The guard looks up and goes, "That's right. It's the devil."
Oh, sorry, I hadn't gotten to that part yet. I'm trying to read it. This is a lot of words. Oh, there's festivals every week, and we have to go to them.
Yes, and you guys have arrived at a new week. You're just seeing the ending of our previous festival. Do you like our decorations as they kind of beckon to the heads of the wolves on spikes that were skewed around?
They're hard to
I'll say
miss.
yes.
They are hard to miss, and we hope that you understand that that was our point.
Oh, guys, we can't say anything. We have to say nice things. Don't say bad things. Oh, if we stick around for a week, we have to help with the festival. Whatever that means.
And well, I can tell you, the next festival will be the Festival of the Blazing Sun, and you will be required to, each of you will be required, assuming you stay for that period, will be required to either help in making of the decorations or at least providing a large group of sticks and twigs to be used to make the big sun that we'll be creating for this week. Mind you, the demeanor of this guard is like, you can tell he's serious, but he also kind of seems like he's about to clock off in a way.
Malicious unhappiness.
Yes, malicious unhappiness, a very serious crime.
I guess my question for you is, there's a lot of rules here. I don't want to bore you, but are there any particular ones that people get caught up on?
Typically just malicious unhappiness and speaking of the devil and not being involved in the festivals. We run a tight ship here, keeping the devil at bay, and we don't have to let people in. We don't have to let people enjoy the many numerous benefits of keeping the devil himself out of our town. We just ask that you simply follow these rules as to the benefit of the entire populace here. Assuming you've come from Barovia, a very small, lacklusterly guarded town, we are not that. We are a stronghold against the evil that conspires to consume all of us. As he's kind of talking, another guard, all of you sort of notice, is approaching sort of from the distance. And inside the gates, you can see like a pretty sprawling, rather large town overall, kind of starting to quiet down as it's getting a bit darker and a bit darker. The other guard, I mentioned that there were two, is kind of speaking, and Arena is kind of having a conversation with him as he seems to be asking questions about where the children are from, and she's expressing like she needs to find a place for them. They were rescued from the windmill, and the guard does mention that there is an orphanage in town that they could potentially be dropped off at, but he does make a note of the children that were brought in as well, in the bad sort of condition that they were in. The other guard has a bit more of a suspicion in his voice, if you will, about the odd group that's approached the gates today. Do all of you agree to these rules before you're allowed to enter?
Still reading.
All right, fair enough.
Would this be a good place to call it? I know we wanted to keep it short.
Almost. The guard... You know what? That's fine. We can call it here. You guys can read over that for the next session, and then I'll have time to prep for Valaki. Hopefully, I go back to work this week. But I did a lot of theory crafting in my head. I just haven't put a lot of stuff down. So I'm pretty sure I know what to do here, or what I want to do here to keep it fresh, keep it fun, and keep it spoiler free from Observer as much as possible. So it's just a matter of setting that up. So cool.
Cool.
All right.
Really quick, did we have anything with his name on it?
That's a good question.
Oh, we have his name. Let me go look at the
devil.
Yeah, his name, the devil's name.
None shall speak this name aloud or carry written documents bearing this name.
Well, you do have
We have a
the book you just picked up.
book, but I don't see that it actually says the name.
Probably doesn't say his name. And
I'm
then
scanning
you have...
it. I stop and I read the book.
Okay. We can pick it all up next session and just go over the rules before we enter. There'll be passes issued and any kind of confirmations and weapons checked as well. So we can do all that next session.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, thank you.
Yep. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Chad.
Yep. Have a good night.
Sorry about being late today, guys.
You're good.